First presenter then, Deepak from Transport New South Wales.
Okay, I think they have given enough introduction of mine. Myself Deepak Prasad, been working for transport for NSW. I'm a senior Tableau consultant there for business analytics COE. Believe me guys, it's very, I'm struggling to pick out my words. It's really, this is my, maybe after 1 year I'm presenting again, so forgive me if I'm doing wrong. So, first thing first, I need to understand the population so that before telling some tips and tricks or talking anything about Tableau, the speed I'm going to go about is dependent upon my population. So I want to know who are all you guys and where are you from. If I take introduction from every one of you, the 40 minutes of mine is going to be evaporated just so quick. So I'm going to take a quick summary calls. So BIBAs out there, can you please raise your hands? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6. Okay, Tableau techies, whoever consider themselves Tableau guru. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys all to present the tip today. And so let's say 20 plus. And Tableau beginners who just landed in Tableau, you're safe. So say 15 and waiting to explore. I really wanted to know what Tableau is all about. I just came here to know more about Tableau. Who are those? No one. So everyone knows Tableau. So managers who manage people who works in Tableau. Okay, good. Not bad. 5 plus. Solution architects. Okay. So this session is going to be more beneficial for you guys because the first session is going to concentrate on Tableau. The next one is for Exasol, the data munging that she talked about. So the session will be very beneficial for you guys. And business stakeholders who really wanted to make meaning out of data. So, okay. So, there is always others in the data, I believe. I work with many data. There's always others or null or NA. So, I can, those who don't have hands, I assume you guys, so 30%, okay. Before I start, I'm going to do something with the data a little later in the tips and tricks, so it's not going to be waste. So, first thing first. Let me start. Oh, great! That's good way to start my presentation. Okay. So, when I said I'm going to present in the next week Tableau user group, Mark Evans said okay. And after 30 days, I pinged him when he came up in LinkedIn that he is waiting for presenters. I sent him an email and he just asked me 2 things: what are you going to present, and what all that. Where you're from. So I gave the 2 things. So it's about data, Tableau and me. So it's about basically about how I derive values and insights from Tableau. So I've been with data for more than 8 years as ICT experience, but I've been with data from my childhood. So my dad owns a pharmacy. So I've been in the sitting as a cashier, playing with the currency, see how much change I had to give when I get some amount and so on. So I've been playing with data for so long. So when I see numbers, I see it as currencies. So, so today agenda is going to be very simple and straightforward. It's going to be, the first one is going to be introduction, which I have already done enough, I guess. And the second one is going to be disclaimer. And I'm going to talk about something that many people have not. I can say that many people have talked about some basics in Tableau, but I wanted to talk about how orderly that works 1 to 1. So next thing is visual analytics. Then I'm going to talk about some codes and how well it goes with Tableau. And I'm going to talk about Tableau and mouse. Yeah, without mouse. A day without mouse for me as a Tableau developer is going to be very tough. So I'm going to talk about that as well. And tips and tricks. And some wrong turns and bad promises. So what you should not promise your client before you start building a dashboard. it's going to be blazing fast. Come on, if you have 4.5 millions of records in the same sheet, it cannot be blazing fast. But soon it will be made fast by tools like Exasol and Tableau Mastro project. And I'm going to present a new request here for Tableau, like Mark Evans fee, and they can promote it when they go to Tableau conference and stuff. Good features to have. That as a BI consultant, if these are the features, if you quote it in Tableau, that would be great. So we're gonna see that. And yeah, first disclaimer. I work for transport, that's true, but I'm not going to present even a single bit of data of transport, and I'm not going to tell you where the speed cameras are in the city. So next thing, all the things that I'm presenting here, it's all not mine, so I cannot tag my name behind the tips and tricks and stuff. It's all basics out there, whatever Tableau has laid. I have picked the crunch and I'm presenting before you. So first thing, as I told you, many people have, whenever they talk about Tableau, there are some things that you must be knowing. So this is for beginners who are in the crowd. So if anyone wants to learn Tableau, this is the start you have to. So you have to understand data types and data roles. What is data types? Nothing but dimension and measures. What is data role? Discrete and continuous. If you understand these 4 words, you're going to be alright in Tableau. Your journey is going to be damn smooth. But there are some situations wherein you have to tell yes or no right away to the stakeholders. So you have some tough stakeholders in your life wherein they ask you a question straight away to the face. Is it possible in Tableau or not? Can it be done or not? If you say I'm going to buy some time, take 1 or 2 days, then okay, that means you don't know Tableau. That's the second thing that's going to come from them. So to get that straight, to answer them straight away, you need some basic knowledge of how Tableau works. Basically, order of operations, that's what I'm going to talk about. What happens before you visualize? What happens once you start getting the data inside Tableau? What happens after your canvas is all painted? And what is the last operation and what is the first operation that's happening during your journey of building a dashboard? Okay, first thing first. Okay, you have been given an Excel. Let's assume let's keep the example very easy and straightforward. Let's say you have been given an Excel of 10 megabytes, which has around 200K of data. You have got the data, you have decided that you're going to be making a beautiful dashboard out of it. That's how everyone starts the dashboard. So that's correct. Then what do? You take the data, you massage it, cleanse it, enrich the data with more meaningful columns in that, and then you extract the data. That's how Tableau always tells you to have an extract before you start dashboarding, because that's better for optimized version of it. So when you extract, you put a filter. Okay, the first extract filter I'm going to throw at you is I wanted the extract to be having only 2017 data. So that's the first filter. Okay, you're done and you're taken your extract. So that's done. Your extract is going to hold only of year 2017. Then comes the data source filter, which is again not available for the dashboarding. If you feel that, okay, I'm going to concentrate on a particular division, say sales. Sales is the only division I'm going to concentrate in this dashboard, but the same extract will be used by someone else in IT division and they're going to use it for IT. So you made an extract for the year 2017, but you are concentrated on making an extract for sales alone. So that's data source filter. So you have taken data source filter and that's ready. So when it comes to context, what is a context? So let's see a live demo. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Good. So let's say I have categories and I am picking sales. Good. And I want that item to be my secondary level of detail. So I am saying I wanted all for now, and I am adding it as a filter. I am sorting the data. Okay, here you go. So I am sorting the data. So now I am saying I wanted to see top 10. Okay, I'm seeing top 10. Now what I wanted to see is, I wanted to see top 10 of binders category. So let's see, I have chosen binder. Now I am seeing only one item from binder, but whereas I wanted to see top 10 selling items in binders category, which I am not able to see it now because the filters in Tableau works together. So if I want the binders to be the context, so I set the context of the dashboard, and that's the first and foremost filters that happens in the dashboard, and that if you set it to the context, you get to see the top 10 sales again. So that's the beauty of the context. So the context filter starts next, and then the operation flows on. The sets, conditionals, filters, top 10 filters, fixed LOD expression. So what is fixed LOD? What is LOD first of all? To keep it very short and sweet, let me tell you, like, let's take sales and let me take profit, and I wanted to come up with a scatter plot. So now if I put category, my level of detail is whatever the categories I have. So I have 17 mobs here. So that means that I have 17 categories out there. So if I put category on detail, it's going to break that single circle into 17 categories. If I put it into color, it's going to be 17 colors. If I put it into shapes, it's going to be 17 shapes. So whatever is deciding my this LOD is really breaking my this actually. But what will not break my LOD is your tooltip. If you put your category in tooltip, it will not break your whiz. And if you put it on your filter, it will not break. So let's say if you wanted to put category in detail, so when you hover around a single dot which is showing a particular sales for that particular category, and at the same time, if you want to visualize the total sales, so then you have to write, if you are going away from visualization. So basically you are asking, whenever I hover over a particular category, say sales of a particular category, don't show me the sales of the particular category alone, show me the entire sales. So that's the reason you have. So anything you go beyond what is shown in the whiz is LOD. So to write a simple LOD, I'm just saying, I'm writing sum of sales and closing it with a close parenthesis, and what it is going to give me is, sorry, okay, so now if you see, I have my total sales in that, so I call it total sales. So basically I am seeing a sales of that particular category which is telecom, and at the same time I am seeing the total sales. So when I talk about LODs, there are certain stages, there are three kind of LODs that Tableau has introduced from the version 9.3. First one is fixed, which is getting applied right after the context filter, and one is include and exclude LOD, which is getting applied in visualization or once the visualization is drawn, which is what I am trying to say here. The fixed LOD works right after the context filter. So anything you have to play between these things, this is the order of operations you have to keep in mind. I would say that better print out this sheet and keep it stuck somewhere you work. It would be really helpful. So without further delay, I'm moving into something called as visual analytics. Okay. So what is visual analytics? What is the reason? Like, suppose, let's say you have a beautiful dashboard and you got enormous data, you have put it into a dashboard. Is it going to be a hit? No. The good quality of a dashboard is only when you are able to solve a business problem. Suppose if I am seeing a dashboard as a BA, the first question I ask about the dashboard is whether it's going to be answering any business problem, any questions, any answers to the business problem or not. If it is not solving, then I'm not going with it. So even though it's a beautiful dashboard, even if it has all the data, it doesn't matter. Unless until if you are not solving any questions from business, the dashboarding goes for a toss. So let's see the basic qualities of visual analytics. Your dashboard has to be intuitive, insightful, yes, and zero mistakes. Okay. Please be honest. How many people have spotted out that I have left A in analytics? How many people here? Yeah, and how many people thinking about that without listening to me? almost I believe 60% of the crowd would be doing that. That's because our human tendency is to spot the mistakes and keep playing with it. So when you are making a dashboard, there should not be even a full stop or a dot, a comma, anything on a dashboard which you cannot answer about. If you are showing a dashboard to a whole audience, and if they are pointing to a particular element and asking you a question, and if you are not sure how to answer it, then that's it, it goes for a toss. So it should not have any mistakes, and it should not have any element that you have not dreamt of and you are not planned for. So your dashboard is yours, you own it, and you own each and every part of it. And audience oriented. Suppose I come up with a dashboard today for a C-level executive, and the same sales dashboard has to be delivered to the audience, who are say sales managers of a particular region. These two dashboards has different audience. I have to set the level of detail for different dashboards. So one has to be a strategic dashboard, from which decisions can be taken, and other has to be a detail-oriented sales managers, so can really see which salesperson is doing what, whether they are good, whether they are doing good or bad. So, and it has to be easily digestible, and it has to be well organized. Okay, I think many people are seeing their watch already. I don't want to continue on the presentation, so let me go to some demo. So I've been telling that visually appealing, zero mistakes, intuitive, that's all fine, but let me show you some dashboards which really make some sense, and what I'm showing in the So this is a sales dashboard. Let's have a 5-second rule. If you are not able to digest the whole dashboard in 5 seconds, that means the whole dashboard failed. That's what it's simple to put it as. So whenever, let's talk about colors first. So wherever I see red, that means definitely something is going wrong. My trend is bad, or my revenue QTD is going bad, and at the same time actual versus budget I'm comparing. And in the revenue by state, these are all the 3 states which are not doing good. And when it comes to top 10 customers, I'm seeing my top 10 customers done. This is a strategic dashboard where a C-level executive can take a dashboard and make decisions right over the, after he sees the dashboard and makes a call to the salesperson or whoever it is, why it is not happening, and make a call right over that by having some names. So it has to be summary level, and at the same time it should be delivering the information what it is supposed to be. So let's go to the second information. So let's try to answer a question like, does your dashboard always has to be strategic? No, that can be a daily or daily transaction level dashboards too. Suppose if I take this dashboard, it's April 26 today date. I'm seeing my sales, and I'm seeing whether my profit is going down or not, and I'm seeing how much my profit has gone down compared to yesterday, and I'm seeing in the daily level, I'm seeing the trend, I'm seeing the shape of my sales, and at the same time I'm giving some indicators which days I'm doing good. Last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday I didn't do good, some days I did good, and which top 5 products are not doing good in terms of profit. So I would call my salesperson and ask them right away, if the second product, the top second product is not doing good, why are you guys promoting it? Just stop promoting it. It's not giving me any profit. I can take decisions right away. So let's go to the next sheet. So when we talk about this visual perception, there are 4 attributes to it. The one is color. So to find an outlier from a group of dots, let's say this color is identifying that something is going wrong or something is going correct. And same with orientation, shape and line. If something is not going right, these are all the ways you can tell people that it's not going right. By using size or a different shape or an enclosure or a line length, that's bar chart. Line width, the same bar with the increase in the size of the width, and the orientation. If something is going away from the orientation, definitely people will take a look into it and see what's wrong. So, and of course 2D locations, and as per the design best practices, this is how your dashboard has to be laid. The leftmost is more emphasized, the right is neither emphasized or not de-emphasized, and this is neither emphasized area, and this is a more, will have total focus of the user here. So this is how you have to design your dashboard. Colors, you cannot always bombard the colors in the user space. Your colors has to be very gentle, and if you are not sure of what colors to choose, you have a very good website called as colorbrewer2.org. Please have a note. If you choose a color, that will tell you what is color blind safe and what is not, and that would be very good. And when I talk about colors, Tableau 10 has really done a wonderful achievement in achieving different type of set of colors palettes. So it's more or less you have all the colors and color blind and safe colors in Tableau itself. So let's see some live demo for visual analytics. Okay. In this, you have a circle plot for 4 regions for 17 categories. Okay. So how many people understood this chart right away as soon as I am showing it? How many people? Okay, all are in sleepy mood. So I can see what I wanted to convey through this chart is this is my average line, and these are all the products which are doing good and they are above average, and these are all the products which are doing not bad but they are below average, and this is it. How long it is taking you to break down this information and digest? Let's say 10 seconds. Let's say the same thing in the second visualization. Okay, these are all the products which is more than average, below, and how much more? So I am sizing it by comparing it with average. So that's the reason you are able to see visually how more it is from the average or how less it is from the average. And the color also tells you the intensity of how low and how high. So let's say the second example. This is a scatter plot sized by sales, colored by profit. So whatever is red is my negative profit, whatever is more green is my positive profit. So when I hover over here, I see that I am doing this much sales, but I want to know what is my maximum sales. So I am doing a sales of 456K, but my maximum sales is 1218657. So what I had to do, I have to go here and see what is my sales, and I have to come here. So my flow of thinking is getting stopped right away. I am hovering around a circle and I want to see how small it is when compared with the big one. So let me see what I have done. Same chart. Do you see any difference at all? Anyone spotted any difference? No, you wouldn't be, but unless you hover it. Just try hovering it with a small circle. It plots the bigger circle around it, which is nothing but the maximum sales 1218657. So it's for the Tableau techies, it's nothing but dual axis of maximum, and I have reduced the transparency such that it's just white, and around each circle you hover around, it tells you a story. Okay, your sale is 253K, but your maximum sale is 1218657, and this is how, when you compare to the maximum, this is how you stand. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So let's talk about quotes and Tableau. So the first quote is from Lincoln. So give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the hair. So how many people go with this? So for me, as a Tableau consultant, if you give me 4 hours, I will spend 2.5 hours at least to make sure I got all the data, clean it up, massage it up, and set the default properties for each and everything. So when I said default properties, let's see a live example. I know it would be boring for some advanced guys, but for beginners it would be helpful. So advanced guys can sleep for a while. Okay, so now I don't want to. So I'm taking Superstore. As soon as I got the data, I'm seeing my data, it's all good. I want to see how many fields I have, and I'm seeing each and every properties and making sure all the properties are set correctly. It's all good. And I'm seeing how many columns, and if I need to know, suppose, let's say I have a column called a segment, and I want to know how many segments are there. You can right away click describe and see how load and see how many possible members are in the segment. So you get to understand the data, you get to know the aggregation of the data before you decide on the dashboard. You get to see what is the level of detail and stuff before you get to the data. Once you get into the canvas, suppose say segment, I go to default properties and I wanted color to be, consumer to be always orange, corporate should be always purple, suppose home office should be blue. So I set the default properties for segment, color, and I wanted the sort order of segment should be manual. I wanted the corporate should be at the top, consumer in the bottom, and home office in the top, again. So this is the order. So next time, whenever I pick a segment and I wanted to bring on sales and I wanted it to be colored by color, this one, my sort order and everything is done already. So it's better to set the default properties before you start drawing your dashboard. So this is setting the default properties, and one thing you always have to think about is percentages. So whenever you come up with the calculations for percentages, what you have to basically do is you have to set your default properties and number format as percentage before you start. So when you are really doing the dashboard, it will be so beneficial that you don't have to do this groundwork before this. So then let's go about the second. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. This is the second quote that goes well with the Tableau. So before some few years, I met a BA consultant. He gave me this simplicity idea. So let's talk about it. So if you are being given a dashboard assignment and you are building the dashboard, and once you are going to present it to a person, and if you are going to spend more time in talking and explaining the dashboard, then you fail. So you know that you are building the dashboard for that person, and definitely you have to do the less talking, and for definitely less talking. If you are talking more, that means your dashboard is not conveying the information. So it has to be that simple as it is. And let's talk about Tableau and mouse, and sometimes when working with Tableau, you get amazed where all you can play with mouse. So it's about that. So let's say that you know that if you double click here, you can edit text in dashboard, and if you double click here, you get to select the whole container, and and you can double click anywhere where you can wanted to pick and choose some calculation. Suppose if I wanted this calculation, I can drag and drop here, and I can right away start my calculations here. Same with here. So if double clicking here, this one, and one important thing, when you are left clicking and left click, drag and drop, right click, drag and drop is entirely different. Suppose if I am taking department, left clicking and dragging and dropping on filters, it will prompt me to select my selections before I drop it on the filters. Let's say if I wanted to drag and drop a date, let's say I'm left clicking and dragging and dropping, it will ask me whether it has to be years and stuff. So it's done, it is popping up, apply. I did a left click, it's fine. Same thing if you right click, you got many more options. So like aggregations and everything can be sorted out if you right click and do it instead of left click and do it. So try to do more operations in right click rather than left click. Right click supports many good advantages. So let's go to tips and tricks. The final one. So sorting. So how many people know that how sorting works? So in Tableau, sorting works about the first discrete column you have. So suppose you have sum of sales here and you wanted it to be sorted, the best tip is to copy it, and if you make it a discrete, this will, if you make it a discrete, and if you drop it before category, suppose, okay, it sorts, it's, okay, 1 minute, I dragged the wrong this. It sorts ascending But if you make it, if you copy the same thing, and if you, so it sorts descending. So the first column, if it is positive, it is going to sort in ascending, and if it is negative, it's going to sort descending. Okay, next step. So let's say we have customers, and I wanted to find customers who have got two categories. Suppose, let's say I wanted to find customers who have bought from paper and labels. So what sets does is, it goes through all the customers, and if the user has bought from a particular category called paper, and user has, it will check, and if the condition is true, it will return 1. And the reason for me to use aggregation here, max, is because I had to go through, there will be multiple records for each customer. They would have bought in different categories, and you would have bought in different orders. So I am just taking and comparing for all the categories and making sure he is getting at least a 1. If it is max, I will pick 1, and same with here, if category is equal to label, and I am doing it. So let's take a scenario wherein I wanted labels, it's okay, I wanted customers who have bought from a category called labels, and it doesn't matter whether he bought from paper or not. So it's very easy. So if you know about weighing, so if I make it 2 and apply, so what will happen now is, if this will return 2, and if he has bought paper also, it will return 3. So if I want only labels, I am giving more weightage to labels, so it is just returning for labels. So and the next one is coloring. So I don't know how many people know this. Suppose if you have branding colorings, and if you're forced to choose it from the template that Tableau has. Suppose if you want to edit colors, and if you click on color, you can pick the screen color from anywhere. Suppose say you want this color, and you can use it. So if you have your logo, branding logo dropped somewhere in the dashboard, and if you can pick the colors from there. Filters. Okay, sometimes filters can be discrete, sometimes filters can be continuous. So there are many situations where it is very useful if you place fill as a discrete one. Let's see opposite case. Let's say I have a store owner who is coming to me and asking, I wanted to visualize all the orders from 3,500 to 4,000. So if you make it as a discrete one, I have to choose right from 3,500 to 4,000 one by one. But if I make it a continuous one, then it will be a slider. Then I can easily type my query straight away, 3,500 to 4,000. I click OK, that's done. So it will be a slider. So it completely depends on you and the requirement, how fast you are doing it. Whether it has to be a discrete one or a continuous one. Next is a LOD trick. So I have a region, always let's say I have a APAC region, and I wanted it to be compared to the selections that users are making. So let's say I have done it for region West. If I remove selections for Arizona and California and Colorado, and I can easily compare the whole region one and with this. This can be done using, if you understand how context and fixed filter works together, then this is going to be easy. I have added West to the context, so this will be always West. And I have fixed this line, so it's, if you see, it's fixed. One minute, sorry. I have fixed it for months, so that curve, no matter what, this dimension filter is going to change. The curve which is in the top is not going to change because I have fixed it, and that's the reason it's not changing. And with this, that's it. So it's all good. I'm wrapping up. Thank you.